Good morning, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans Review. I am finishing my coffee before I start today because every morning my coffee ends up going cold. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel because this is where you get a fantastic amount of Celtic information on a daily basis. There are loads of other channels out there, but obviously just subscribe to this one. Let's get the numbers up. Thank you. It'd be amazing if you did. Anyway, coffee finished. Let's get down to business. There is a massive split. I knew this would happen. I did say this would happen. Let's get down. I mean, I did say this, and I don't want to be the Celtic supporters affiliation. The affiliation of Celtic supporters last night informed its members on an update with the meeting with the collective. Following the discussion to boycott Saturday's game and also to potentially cause disruption to the Stuttgart game, the affiliation made it clear that they do not agree with some of the actions or proposals coming from the collective. Any disruption to games do not align with backing of the team. Within the collective meeting this week, the affiliation voted against the boycott per the majority of member clubs. Note, individual clubs are free to support the collective's actions if they wish to do so. As for any boycott, that is a personal decision. In summary, the collective have been notified that the affiliation will be leaving the group as of last night. It's not the news that I wanted to come out and say this morning, but it's the reality of the situation. Let's sign that. Typing too fast this morning. There we go, it's sorted. But yeah, that is the update last night. Obviously, we heard there's a game of chess going on between the Celtic supporters, the Celtic board, and where it goes from here, I do not know. I thought it was good that the board felt the pressure from the collective last night, just with the threat of a boycott, where the Celtic supporters affiliation. Now, the Celtic supporters affiliation is one of the biggest groups associated to Celtic. Under its umbrella, it has every single supporter club in Scotland and England, Wales. The Irish associations have their own one. When it comes to the fact that the affiliation of Celtic supporters have decided not to back the Celtic Fans Collective is a massive statement from that group of people. Now, you have to put this in context because I do think personally that the affiliation of Celtic supporters put out one of the best written articles with regard to the current situation at Celtic just earlier it was last month. It was just over a month ago now. Now, this was I'm going to put it on the screen, it'll be a lot easier. And this was the article that was written by the Celtic Supporters Association. Several months ago, following extensive consultation across our supporters clubs, our members passed a vote of no confidence in the current Celtic FC board. This decision reflected widespread concerns about the club's leadership, governance and long-term direction. Since then, they have made repeated attempts to engage constructively with the board. We have sought dialogue, clarity and transparency, all in the hope of rebuilding trust and ensuring that our supporters have a meaningful voice in the future of our club. To date, the board has not responded. This ongoing silence is unacceptable for a club of Celtic stature. It has only reinforced what many of the supporters already feel. The current structure of the club is not working. The lack of strategy, direction and inconsistency in football operations, the absence of meaningful communications have created a growing discontent between the board and the supporters who sustain the club. Our members are clear. We want change. Celtic needs a new manager. They got it. A recruitment strategy that reflects the size and expectations. Fresh perspectives and strengthened governance on the board. A modern, ambiguous footballing structure. A youth system capable of developing players who can contribute at the highest level. A leadership team that communicates openly and respects the voice of the supporters. These are reasonable demands. They are the foundations of a successful, forward-thinking football club. Our main aim remains constructive. We want a Celtic that is united, ambitious, and aligned, from the boardroom to the stands. But unity cannot be achieved through silence. Progress cannot be made without change. We will continue to act in the best interests of Celtic Football Club and the supporters who give it life. That was a statement that was put out a month ago, a month and 2 days ago, by the Affiliation of Celtic Supporters. I think that as an organisation, it's a fantastic organisation. And yes, even they don't agree on everything when they are at meetings. I've been in meetings before, and they all know that it is a collective of clubs under the umbrella of the Affiliation. And they are the biggest organisation umbrella for Celtic supporters for every bus and every Celtic supporters club throughout the land. They, for me, have a bigger weight than, unfortunately, the Celtic fans collective do have. They had to get everyone on side, and I did say after the meeting I thought they were going to go down the road of the boycott. I got shouted at for and online for saying that they were going to go down the road of the boycott, and it looks like that ultimately the Affiliation were not happy with the way that the collective ran the meeting and have pulled out of the collective organisation altogether, which is a bit of a setback. It is a bit of a setback for the Celtic fans collection, but we'll leave it at that, and we'll move on to the next bit of breaking news. Breaking news. It was one of the best worded and to the point and not rambling statements. Yeah, mate, it was. And I said it at the time, having read quite a lot of the, obviously, the Celtic fans collective statements, and then read that one. I thought that was miles above. It was miles above. And I did say that if we were going to go forward, and people asked when when Jim Lister had the idea for some kind of online poll, I thought that I would get in touch with the Affiliation for them to word it, because it's way more articulate than I could ever be. I'm just a little YouTuber. But anyway, some people say I'm not even as good as that. But anyway, we move on, because there is a bit of breaking Celtic transfer news last night. The Sun said it wasn't going to happen. Yes, the Sun newspaper said, no, it's no happening, mate. Shit down you, Tim's you. It's no happening. But Fabrizio Romano did come out last night, as did Sky News, and said Celtic are closing in on an Axel, even he's got it wrong. I can tell where I copied and pasted that from. But he says that they have got it. The deal is set to be complete on Friday with a 6 months contract for the former Liverpool player. Now, his agent did want an extended contract going beyond this summer coming. Celtic wanted to just to him to come in and help the squad between now and the end of the season. They did not want to add him to the European squad. Massive one. Massive. The board bought off the Affiliation, sold their souls to the devil. Want Jake's the default make the Affiliation are corrupt big time. Yeah. William, are you in a Celtic supporters club? Because you probably find that the majority of fans that come under the banner of the Affiliation will back the affiliation on this one. Just saying, William. But anyway, the big news is obviously that this deal looks as if it will happen today. So, with that being said, it looks like Martin O'Neill will get a player of stature within the midfield. Will Celtic try and bring anyone else in? And it's kind of weird that they brought him in and told him that you're not going to be registered. Obviously, he had to be registered last night for the deal to go ahead for the European games. And Celtic said, Martin just wants you in here to dominate the midfield in the SPFL. He also wanted an extension of after this contract to the end of the season. He wanted an extra season added on. And you could say that was probably going to be his retirement. And then he'd step down from football. Is it a good deal for Celtic? I still think that it's a good deal for Celtic. The player might not think it's a great deal for him. There may be something in the contract that if he plays X amount of games and then he may be considered for an extension by the next manager. The next manager might fancy him, but without Celtic knowing whom the next manager shall be, it's very difficult for the club to make a long-term decision for a player of his age. His capability, he still obviously has the capability to be a fantastic player, but they do. Barry T says it's a bit of a strange one, this one. But why do the clubs not sing "You'll Never Walk Alone" before big European nights? They do. They do, mate. It's just that you never hear it on the telly because they have to play either the Champions League tune right before the game starts, or they have to play the Europa anthem. But they play it before they play those anthems. You just don't see it on the telly. Anyway. Yeah, they do. Usually, yeah, there we go. I was backed up with that comment. So there you go. Thank you for the ball, mate, for that one. They usually do. Under the disco lights, this is very true. The disco lights. Convincing ourselves is a good deal. For me, not for me, my opinion. Convincing ourselves is a good deal. I think that I get what you're saying, that convincing yourselves is a good deal. Not for me. If he's not going to be in the European squad. So he's obviously come in on a certain wage structure that is acceptable to Celtic. He's not going to be on 50 grand plus a week. We can assume that he's come in and Celtic have given him the short-term contract. So anyway, I think that he was a good player years ago. He's had a few injuries over the years. He's been released from a club. That says it all. It does say it all about the standard that the player was at. So Celtic can. Martin O'Neill has he likes bringing the best out in players, and if he can do that just at the end of the season, then it's been a fantastic addition. At the end of the day, we're struggling. People were struggling in midfield. We're getting bullied in midfield. People are saying that Callum McGregor's past it, and then when we do ultimately bring someone of quality, we'll use that word rather than quantity. A lot of people think it's not a great deal. But anyway, it's all about opinions. Flying Column says that Ox might do our jobs for us. Give a bit of morale to the squad. Big name, to be fair. Hopefully he'll do enough for us. I think it will give the squad a lot. Listen, you've got a guy that's won everything in football. To have someone like that walking into the, I mean, I know he's not a big name like Henrik Larsson and such like, but he's won every major honour that you can win as a football player. And I know it's in the past and you forget about it, and but he could bring an aura. And sometimes when you bring someone in like that to the club, it gets the players around you to up the level. Callum McGregor always come through the Celtic ranks with more experienced players. Sometimes at a club, you need an experienced player to come in and just, give everyone else a little bit of a push. Here's this guy that's won everything, and it's like, well, I'm going to prove that I'm better than you. Maybe Rio Hatate will go, oh fuck, this guy's won everything, hasn't he? I mean, he's won the Champions League, he's won the World Cup competition, he's won fucking this or that. He was in the old conquering Liverpool side. I just think that it could either go one or two ways. He could get injured in the first week and we never see him play for Celtic at all, or he can come in and give everyone a boost. And sometimes I think that that's, all you need. And I think that Martin O'Neill knows that. Martin O'Neill is a great motivator and he's a great at being able to bring in players that can help the club and ultimately, boost players around them. And I think that that is all that Martin O'Neill is trying to do with this one. And hence the reason that Martin O'Neill said, no, look, I'm only going to be here. I can't offer you a contract until a year and a half. I can't give you a year and a half contract. I'm only going to be here till the summer. The next manager might not like you. And then Celtic are in a position. I can't do that to Celtic. So fair play to Martin O'Neill for just laying it on the line. Look, mate, apology, but I won't be here and I will not put an aging player that may not fit the next manager's ambitions. Simple. So you either take the 6-month contract, you're not doing fuck all else, you're training with the fucking... You're training with the youth team down at Arsenal. You can either come here and play football or and have the chance to win a Scottish Cup and an SPFL trophy to add to your honours, so that you can read the roll of honour. Anyway. There's no risk in signing him. No, there's no. From temporary, where's that one? From temporary class is permanent. Form is temporary, class is permanent. Yeah, exactly. But anyway. Right. Let me just read some more of the comments. All signings have league-winning experience, apart from the defender. You can understand why that is. The same age as Kalmak. Anyway, right. Tell me your thoughts. We'll leave that one. Anyway, when it comes to other Celtic news this morning, obviously everyone will be waiting for Celtic to make the announcement. Why is it took so long to get Chamberlain in the door? Because he wanted a year and a half's contract. He wanted a year and a half contract, and Celtic only wanted to give him a year's contract, a 6-month contract. So that's the reason that it took so long. And he wanted to play in Europe, and Martin O'Neill wasn't fussy about getting him in the squad for Europe. Don't know why, but I'm sure that Martin O'Neill is younger than Kalmak. Kalmak's 32 as well. He's the exact same age as Kalmak, 32. Two of them were born in 1993. I was given it. 1993. He was giving it big licks. Yeah, he's the exact same age as Kalmak. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it. Because you've been banging on to this for days. He's younger than Kalmak. What, by a couple of months? There we go, look. 32, born on the 15th of the 8th, 1993. Kalmak. Kalmak's younger. Oh. He's older by, what, a couple of months? Anyway, both of them were born, both of them are 32. Anyway, we move on from that. A little bit of banter this morning. Put them on a pay-as-you-play deal, winner all round. I don't think that was just... James Forrest and Caspar are the oldest. Yeah, they are that. But anyway, where do where does the boycott go from here? I mean, how well will the boycott go? And with the affiliation of Celtic supporters withdrawing their support for the Celtic Fans Collective, what does it say for the Celtic Fans Collective? I mean, I was disappointed the other night by the way that the meeting kind of went, and the everyone seen on the live my immediate reaction. But you do go with the fact that you try and go with the majority, but when the majority is not all there, and for the Celtic Fans Collective, the board set out to divide the collective by approaching individually. Listen, until last night, if you're on the live last night, there was the guy that runs the Brazen Head bus said that the Celtic fans, they had not been in touch. Now he was also quite involved with the Celtic Fans Collective, and he said on the live last night, I forgot his name, I apologise, I had it up at the beginning of this video, that they had not heard a thing from Celtic. Now I also reached out to a gentleman that runs quite a large number of Celtic supporters buses that come out of Ireland. He said that he had heard nothing as of last night either. He has still heard nothing this morning. So don't believe a word about the fact that Celtic have reached out, because as it stands of this morning, they haven't. They haven't reached out to anybody. They may do this morning, they may do today, but then again, the damage might already have been done, and the board might have got the way. Arsenal trying to scupper the deal by offering a role in the coaching team. I doubt it. He's on his way to Glasgow, but Ox pulls a hammy taking the slippers off. Oh, the negativity says out there big time this morning, isn't it? He should be treating this short-term deal as a means to getting his name back out there, his match fitness before the summer. It's a win for both parties. Yeah, I think so. But you'll always, if he comes in and does fantastic, it's just as bad as the situation with Arne Engels. A lot of people saying Arne Engels is shite. He's not even worth 1 million. Never mind 11 million. Celtic. Hold my Celtic cup of tea whilst we reject 25 million for Arne Engels. It is a laugh doing this. That's one thing for sure. Still want Brazen Head polo shirt. Remember that, Buzz? We're better with a carrier pigeon. Who pulled out? Was it Association of Irish Celtic Supporters? No, it was the the Association of Celtic Supporters Clubs, the UK one. I know that the Irish ones are not too enamoured with the situation, and they haven't. Listen, there's a guy that runs quite a big number of buses, and he was never going to go down the road of the boycott, because I've got him on my Facebook and I see what the work that they do on an ongoing basis to get people. When you're booking ferries, when you're booking, it's not just a case of jumping on the bus for these guys. It's families plan it. They have a block of season tickets that would, the financial numbers that come into play with this puts every other club in Scotland to shame. But anyway, it was the Affiliation of Celtic Supporters Clubs, the main one from the UK, and the one that works closely with the Celtic Foundation and does a lot of work with them. And so it's basically every Celtic supporters club in Scotland, England, Wales that are in that. What 3 players got picked for the Euro squad? No idea, because the UEFA hasn't updated it as yet. I'm going to jump onto the UEFA site, see if they've updated it. No, no, it's not been updated yet, mate, because it's still got Adam Ida on it, and it's still got Johnny Kenny. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's Brendan Rodgers one. Must be this one. Apologies. That is not the updated one, because the updated one has Martin O'Neill as manager. Yeah, it's still got Johnny Kenny on it. And Kelechi Iheanacho, Callum Osmond. I mean, surely Callum Osmond gets taken out the squad, but it's not been updated yet. So hopefully that will be updated at some point this afternoon, because they had to be lodged with UEFA last night at the latest. I mean, even Alistair Johnson's still in it. Will Alistair Johnson be back before the UEFA? You're going to keep him in the squad in case you get to the later chances, aren't you? I'm just going to read through some of the comments. Yeah, no, I've got it. I've got the one with this year's, because it's got Martin O'Neill as manager, and then it has stars next to the B team players. But no, it doesn't have an update on any of the new players yet. Nancy's still manager. No, he's not. Nancy's not manager on it. Look, I'll show you. There's the one that you need to be looking at there, where it has Martin O'Neill. Martin O'Neill was manager. It doesn't have any of the new players on it, so hopefully that will be updated this afternoon at some point. And we'll be doing a video later on when we see what Martin O'Neill has to say to it. Anyhow, let me just do this. What three players would you... What time is it? We've got around about... Oh, we've been on for an hour. No, we've not been on for 27 minutes because it's past. Yeah, I need to go and do stuff. Dave Hislop, was the boycott over with? No, the boycott will still go ahead, but it will just be a case of how big the boycott will be. And I think that personally, I think that the own goal in the situation was just boycott the game, but then don't do anything else. And it was like no demonstration outside the front of Celtic Park, no demonstration before the game, nothing else. It was just boycott. And I think it was a bit of an own goal, to be fair. But anyway, we move on from that this morning, because it'll all come out in the wash on Saturday. Anyway, it's a figment of the imagination, saying Nancy was there. It was only an illusion. Ah, oh, Jesus. Right, let me see if there's any other worthy Celtic news. Just everyone's talking about the Oxlade-Chamberlain go-ahead deal, and it is going ahead today. So Celtic will obviously... I wonder if they'll roll him out before... I mean, if he travelled up to Glasgow last night, if he did the medical yesterday, travelled up to Glasgow last night, he gets all his pictures and everything taken today, and then Celtic wheel him out, not in a wheelchair, because he's injured, wheel him out for a press conference before Martin O'Neill does his press conference. That'll be interesting. Rojo Big Tam Mvuka would be Dougie. And we have Tam Iniecho, Dyson up front if needed. Yeah, I think that will be the potential three. Andrew says the boycott was announced too late. A lot of fans had bought tickets and planned to travel. Yep, of course they did. Don't know, but it's hard as it is. But anyway, if we beat Stuttgart, we can add again. I think so. And maybe he's been told that. Maybe he's been told. We'll wait and see. You think Pep Guardiola would be the next manager of Celtic? Is Chamberlain injured? No, he's not injured. He's been training with the Arsenal young team. The Ox will get minutes tomorrow if he's signed. I think so. Well, does he? Does he walk straight into the team? Definitely as a squad player. I mean, you use them in cup games and stuff. And the big one for me tomorrow is the situation in goals. Does Sinisalo get the run in goals? I hope he does. I hope Sinisalo gets the shout for goals because he's a good keeper and we need to start giving him minutes before now and the end of the season, and then just to let him know that he's going to be here next season. But anyway, yep, tomorrow will be perfect for Ox to get some minutes in, and it's Baltic roll on summer. Tell me about it. Just stop the consistent storms. Got to use your hairdryer. Aye, when you go. Aye. No, that'll be fine. They're fine. You can still get an Adam Edermorgan poster, £1 in the Celtic store. I've said nothing when it comes to stuff like that anymore. I'm just reporting what's out there. I'm not giving my own opinion on stuff anymore. It's not worth it. Pep would fail as he'd be able to acquire players for the system. Maybe. It would be fantastic to have a Celtic manager. Pep Guardiola, Celtic manager. He would wipe the floor with everything in Scotland again, and could he get us competing in Europe? That's the big one. Could he even get us to? Could he get the Celtic board to back him quick enough to get players in for the qualification games in Europe? That's another question altogether. Anyway, right. I need to nip out this morning and get some stuff done. Thank you to everyone who has been on this morning. Friday morning's always quiet. Folk are in bed going, fuck, I ain't going to work. No, it's fucking freezing out there, man. I'm not doing nothing. Just fuck that shit. Anyway, have a fantastic day. Big Red says, get the rebs on. Read the roll of honor, the iron's favorite man. We shall be united and